A rift appears to have emerged between the Prime Minister and the Treasurer, two of the most senior members of the government, when it comes to taxation reform, capital gains tax yesterday. We saw all of that. What are your biggest questions when it comes to this change in super that the Treasurer is pushing this morning? He's going all gung-ho for.
Well, the Treasurer's interview on Sunrise yesterday was shambolic and embarrassing, and the Prime Minister had to clean up after him. But the Prime Minister said during the campaign categorically they wouldn't increase taxes on super, and they've done that anyway. So I take no confidence in the Prime Minister's commitment that they won't end up taxing the family home, which is currently exempt. The main concern I have with the superannuation changes is because the government has chosen not to index that $3 million cap. The heaviest burden of this tax increase is actually going to fall on young working Australians, not rich retirees. So because it's $3 million now but won't be indexed, if you're 45, your effective cap in today's dollars is not $3 million, it's $1.8 million. And if you're 35, your effective cap is $1.4 million. And if you're 25, your effective cap is $1.1 million. So it's going to be young working Australians that are going to bear the greatest brunt of this tax increase from this government, while they're trying to pretend that this is a hit on older, wealthy retirees. Nothing could be further from the truth.
Well, I mean, and super's going to be increased in the coming years up to 12%. Do you believe that something like that should be wound back?
Well, what it means is that this figure of 80,000 Australians who are going to be captured by it is, frankly, a very low ball estimate. And over time, hundreds of thousands, if not millions of Australians will eventually be captured by this for those two reasons. One, it's not indexed. The cap will stay at $3 million in real terms. It won't be increased with inflation. And also because, as you say, superannuation is increasing. It's increasing to 12%, and that means a greater proportion of everyone's income, but particularly younger working Australians who will be in the workforce for another 20 or 30 years, a greater proportion of their income is going to be put away. And this government is not going to allow those people to take the money out to buy a first home, for example, which we know is one of the most important financial events in someone's lifetime. And we know that if you retire without a home, you're far more likely to be impoverished, regardless of what your superannuation balance is. So this really is pig-headed attack by the government on young Australians.
Well, Peter Dutton has already said he's going to wind it back. If you guys win the next election, you're going to wind it back. But if it does, if it does get legislated before then, would you be of mind to have it indexed?
Well, let's be clear. If it is legislated before then, it is a broken promise by this government that said they would make no changes to superannuation this term. And I absolutely agree with Peter Dutton that we should attempt to repeal it if we win the next election. And we will fight hard to do that because we're not going to be party to the Labor Party breaking promises and increasing taxes on all Australians.
Right.
Certainly, it would be less harmful if it was indexed, but we'd much rather just repeal it and hold the Labor Party to the commitment they made to the Australian people before the election.
All right, James Paterson, we'll leave it there. Appreciate it. We'll talk to you soon.